Hey guys, Craig from Flowmentum. If you've been following my channel, you would have seen that I've been doing a lot of ride guides showing different trail networks around Queensland. I've just done a how-to. One of the ones I really want to be able to show you guys is the 5 simplest things that we should practice on a mountain bike that can really help our ability when we're out riding the trails. Simple little things like understanding your bike. It's stuff that you may not need to do when you're actually out on the trails, but the more you know your bike, the more you understand your bike, the more you can get away with, the more fun you can have when you're out riding the trails. So basically what we're going to start with is the old track stand. One of the things you've got to understand when you do a track stand is this is something that you can learn to do so that when you need to line yourself up for a rock drop or a jump or anything like that, you come along, you can balance yourself, you can get you clipped in, get yourself ready, and then you can go. So what we're going to do, we put pressure on the pedal, we turn into that uphill rise, and then we lift up and we simply just, you don't even need brakes to do this one. You basically just push with your drive foot. So for me, I'm a left foot forward, so you push with that drive foot, you back it off a little bit, and then you should be able to just keep yourself balancing like this. And then once you get into it a little bit more, you should be able to take your level one-handed, and then even no-handed if you can get away with it. So, and then off we go. Okay, this is one that I really enjoy. This is something we all used to do when we were little kids. On our BMXs out the front of the house or anywhere really. Find yourself a curb or any sort of a square object like these barriers. And we're going to do an endo and try and ride out of them. So the idea of the endo is to come along to an object and lift that back wheel up, and then we come backwards and then we ride out of it. Now what this helps to mimic when you're out on the trail is learning to use your hips and your body to move the bike backwards and forwards to keep everything smooth, especially through rock gardens. That's where something like this is critical. When you're climbing or you're going down hills, you need to be able to lighten the load, shift the load, make it heavier one end, lighter the other end. That keeps the balance on the bike and that keeps things running really smooth. So we'll do that again. So when we come along to the objects, we throw the hips and the shoulders forwards, and then we just come back. And you pedal backwards. Now it pays to be in a heavier gearing, a harder gearing, so you're not pedaling backwards really quick because that'll throw off your balance as well. Okay, the next 2 that I'm going to show you, I believe are definitely the most important, and I should have made them tricks 1 and 2, but it doesn't matter. The reason that these are the most crucial aspect of any tips that we all need to learn and tricks that we need to do is when we're riding trails, you've got rocks, you've got logs, you've got fallen trees. It's so much easier to just double tap, bounce over them and keep riding. It's fun, it's exciting, and you don't have to stop. And I think that's probably one of the best parts about it. So with this one, we're going to come along, we're going to lift the front wheel onto the gutter. And instead of going bang and smashing that back wheel in and folding your rim and getting punches, especially when we're going fast and it could be a sharp edge on a trail, we're going to learn to just lift that back wheel up. Now the way we lift that back wheel up, it's exactly the same as I just showed you on the concrete blocks. When we shift our body weight forwards, we sort of curve the elbows around a little bit and we curl the feet and the toes down. That will then actually lighten the back wheel and it'll pop straight up. So we'll do that and I'll show you exactly what I mean. And just imagine you're out on the trail and there's a big rock here. So we lift the front wheel up and then we lift the back wheel up. Now the good thing about this, it's something that you can practice anywhere, just by lifting that back wheel up. Nothing more, just that back wheel. Okay, once we've practiced the gutter a few times or the curb, we're going to move on to something a little bit higher. It's about 400 mils high. Now this is a really cool way to take that whole lifting up onto things to a whole new level without bunny hopping. So what we're going to do now is I'll show you on this what we're going to do. We'll come along, we're going to lift the front wheel on, and then the exact same thing as I said before, we throw that body weight forward, curl the arms and the forearms around, drop the toes, and sling that body forward and get that back wheel up on top. So let's give that a shot and we'll see how well it goes. Okay, so we come along, we lift on, and then up, just like that. Okay, so we come along, we lift our front wheel up, we lift it on, and then we lift the back wheel up. And that's how we learn to get up onto different obstacles. In most cases on the trail, it's a log, it's a rock. You're not actually going up onto a ledge, which leaves a drop at the other side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to treat this as a log, and what we just did then on trick number 3 we will do, but we'll go this way now. Going up onto something is one thing. It's not often we encounter that on the trails, going up onto a ledge. In most cases it's big rocks, it's logs, it's certain rollover features that we have to experience, where I have seen a lot of people pull out the old hammer and chisel and chainsaw and ruin it for everybody else. It's not fair. If you can't ride it, don't destroy it for everyone else. It's important to go out, practice and learn how to take these features properly. Unlike the curb and how I just showed you where we pick the front wheel up and then we just scoot the back wheel on, this time it's almost like a double bounce. We lift the front wheel on, then we preload and lift both wheels together. More so the back than the front. So we come along, we're riding, we lift the front on, then we lift both together, and then the back wheel lands on, and you just roll straight off. We lift the front wheel on, and then both. So I'll show you that again right now in slow motion. You'll see I come along, there we go, I pick the front wheel on, you can see the bike preloads, bounces up, both wheels together, and over and off I go. Just remember, you lift the front, and then you lift both wheels together. So front, both together, done. So simple. Now I want to teach you something called a 90 to a 180. I guess I don't know if you call it a rollout. It's known as so many different things. I'll just call it a 180 endo, where we come along, we put that front brake on, and we twist the back wheel around either to 90 degrees or closer to that 180. Now, we do need to use this quite often. Tight single track switchbacks when you're coming down a hill, you can stop, you can hit the brake, flick that back wheel around, and then you're already lined up to go straight down that next trail. Now, the important thing is body language. Body language and coordination with that language and the use of the front brake. So as you put that front brake on, you want to pull your hips in and twist your hips sideways. So I actually go clockwise. I'm a left foot forward rider, and I always sort of spin in a clockwise direction. So when I'm coming along, I'll turn a little bit, I'll start to turn to the right, put that front brake on, and then I'll throw my hips forward and I'll spin them around. Now what that will do is actually lift the back wheel and get it spinning. We start to turn right, we put the brakes on, and we just do that. I just threw the roll out in for safe keeps, but if we're actually on the trails, you don't want to do that, you might as well just keep riding in a straight line. So on the trail, come along, front brake, twist, and then we go. So I'll do that again, we come along, we twist the hips, we throw them forwards, and we just go around, just like that. Saves it. Now we'll do that once more in slow motion. As you can see, I come along, I start to turn right, then the front brake goes on. Just as I put that front brake on, you'll see my hips come forward and they twist. That lifts the back wheel and gets it in a rotating direction. Very, very easy to do, very easy to learn. And you can actually do this in your garage, even on a rainy day. This is very simple. And now for tip number 5, or trick number 5. I hope you have seen my how-to bunny hop video. A couple of videos back I did quite a detailed, lengthy, but easily descriptive how-to on learning to bunny hop. The whole idea is we lift that front wheel up, then we lift that back wheel. You never ever want to lift both together. The whole idea of lifting the front, then the back wheel, is you own the bike. You are one working within each other, and you have full control, and everything is so much easier. So when we want to bunny hop, lift that front and then the back. That's all there is to it. We lift the front wheel up and then we lift the back. So it's just simple, that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, as we did before, we did this and then we did that. The bunny hop is one complete movement. We lift the front wheel, then we lift the back wheel, and we land up on top. Come along, we lift the front, then we lift the back, and we're up. Now the reason we do it like that, the proper style of bunny hopping, front wheel then back wheel, imagine if you're coming along and you lift when you're supposed to, but you're lifting both wheels together, come down, bang, straight into there, not good. You can even put your front wheel up top before your back wheel, which when you're going faster, you generally tend to do. So it's that easy. So keep practicing, go back, watch my how-to on bunny hopping, then come and apply it here. All right, there it is. I think we've just beat the rain. These are all things that we can practice out the front, on our street, in our garage on a rainy day. They are definitely, to me, the 5 most basic and important skills that we should all learn to use. They're good fun, and just by mastering those 5 tips, you'll have so much more fun on the trail, because it'll boost your confidence, it'll allow you to try something you didn't do yesterday, and more importantly than anything, you're going to decrease your chance of crashing, doing bike damage, and you're going to increase your chance of having a ton of fun. That's my top 5 for the day. Please comment below. If you feel that I could cover something else, let me know. I'm more than happy to do whatever it is that any of you want to learn to do, and I'll try my best to make it as easy and as simple as possible. So thanks heaps for watching, and I'll see you out there on the next one. Okay, none of this would have been possible without the assistance of my professional little photographer, Bianca, my 12-year-old girl, and she is going to show you the things that I just showed you. Okay, so if a 12-year-old girl on an extra large 29er can do it, we all can. And she's a Gumby. Too easy.